Hello and welcome to the Eating Disorder Therapist podcast. I'm Harriet Frew, eating disorder therapist, here to support you in overcoming disordered eating and finding peace with food. So thank you so much for listening today. So today I want to talk about the phenomenon of feeling fat. Okay, so let's dive in. So stop 50 adult humans on a random Thursday on a British high street and ask them about, number one, their mood, number two, their feelings of fatness, if any, ranking them from 0 to 10, 0 being none, 10 being extremely intense feelings. Now, it's much more likely that fat feelings will be correlated directly with negative mood. Okay, so if you're in a bad mood, if you're not having a great day, your feelings of fatness are likely to be higher. You're going to feel more dissatisfied with your body. So if you're experiencing high levels of anxiety, disappointment, anger, sadness, apathy, guilt, shame, or even boredom, you'll undoubtedly see greater levels of body dissatisfaction and self-criticism. Now, this is an interesting phenomenon and may not seem entirely logical, but it can be understood as displacement. So displacement is a psychological coping strategy which is often unconscious. You direct your emotional response towards something that feels acceptable, safer, and less threatening. For example, it may feel infinitely safer to chastise your stomach rather than expressing anger at your boss or work colleague. Now, this is unconscious. You're not thinking that you're focusing on your stomach instead of the anger. It's something that's just happening. So McFarlane and co-workers' research in 2011 points to the body displacement hypothesis. Their work suggests that feeling fat occurs when negative emotions are experienced in the body as feelings of fatness rather than as specific negative emotions tied to identifiable triggers even, or situations. Now, in a culture that praises thinness to disproportionately toxic degrees, never mind if a substantial dose of disordered eating is experienced to achieve such lofty goals, it's no wonder that the body might unconsciously get the blame. Because the deadly messages are insidious and powerful. Things like thinner means happiness and desirability. Thinness demonstrates worthiness, self-control and discipline. It means fitting in and being accepted by others. And gaining weight is expressed as the worst possible thing that could happen to you. Fatness is associated with laziness and greed. Thin is beautiful and good. Fat is bad. It's very black and white. If you've got a problem and you want to feel better, then simply lose weight. It's seen as the solution to everything. And your self-worth will rise to elevated levels when your body ideal is achieved. It's very, very seductive. And these messages may well have been infiltrated deeply into your psyche from birth. And they're generally unconscious, and you may have never stopped to question their accuracy in detail. So, your feeling fat will feel accurate and true. It will be perceived by your psyche as a relied upon piece of knowledge to be taken in, digested, and acted on. Then, no wonder that this displacement occurs. So how do we start to separate feeling fat from your actual body? So imagine if you had to weigh yourself every 2 hours during daylight for the next 5 days. So let's say that you don't get to see your weight, because I think actually even seeing your weight can be a feeling fatness trigger. Rather, it's more of a data collection exercise. So what would happen is, as you stand on the weighing scales, you also report your mood. And perhaps you'd also describe your feelings and physical body sensations whilst ranking the intensity. And you record your feelings of fatness. So with regards to weight and feelings of fatness, you'd probably see a graph like the one below. So if you're on Substack, you can see the image. If you are listening to the podcast, I'm going to describe it to you. So what you would see on the graph is a wiggly line of your fat feelings will fluctuate wildly, whereas your weight, it may change a bit, but it will be predominantly the same. Okay, so, and also from this experiment, It would be fascinating to understand your changing moods and physical body sensations and how these variables relate to one another. You would gain valuable insights and awareness around your feeling fat. So what might feeling fat be about if it's not about your body? So number 1, overwhelm. You're feeling overwhelmed with the endless and growing to-do list. Your anxiety is palpable and you run around in circles, striving to get everything done. You're speeding along on an endless treadmill with no stop button, and life feels hopelessly out of control. And then you find yourself fixating increasingly on your stomach and adding this to the list of life areas to sort out as a wave of self-hatred descends. Number 2, comparing. You're relaxed and happy, enjoying a rare morning cappuccino while scrolling on your phone. But you glance across to see a person entering the cafe, someone of similar age to you and in gym gear, looking glowing, toned and vibrant. You recall into your seat in shame as the comparison beast rears its ugly head. 5 minutes ago, body thoughts were absent and your mind was mostly peaceful, but in seconds this has been transformed. And you notice your thighs rubbing against each other and your tummy digging into your jeans, and you feel bloated and unattractive. Number 3, trigger foods. It's someone's birthday at work and a delectable cake is sitting on the desk. You edge closer to the table, admiring the pink frosting and succulent sponge looking back at you. You're adamant that you're not going to eat it as you're on a new wellness plan with no sugar or gluten. And you feel mildly virtuous at the thought of the upcoming denial. The cake is cut and people smile, eat and share. You feel the bleak misery of deprivation and tentatively allow yourself just one tiny slice. Momentary bliss follows, as it's the first time you've had sugar for a week, but immediately afterwards you feel a sense of self-loathing and disgust. You feel it migrating through every pore of your body and it makes your skin crawl. Number 4, conflict. You argue with your sibling and hot rage simmers through your chest. You feel wronged and overlooked, and it feels completely unreasonable to have been treated this way. Again, your body takes a battering for this as you want to jump right out of your skin. You notice your numerous body imperfections, the lumps and bumps. You can't shake the feeling and it lingers for hours after the argument. And I distinctly remember one of my clients in anorexia recovery explaining this phenomenon well. She argued with her partner and hadn't felt heard, and she literally felt her body blowing up in size. And number 5, feelings of failure. You've slept through your alarm and you're running late. The children are fighting and you haven't filled out administration needed for school. You feel a deep sense of failure and inadequacy. It feels that you never get it right and other people seem to cope much better. And what started as a minor niggle of negativity has now spread to a globalized wave of unworthiness rippling through your body. As you leave the house, you glance in the hallway mirror and feel fat. You feel that you can't get anything right. And these could be numerous, and there could be numerous additional emotional triggers. These are just examples, but consider your own personal ones. So how to separate feeling fat from the deeper issues? Next time you are feeling fat, stop and pause. Ask yourself, is this about my body or something else? Begin to identify triggers and increase self-awareness. And pay attention to your emotional reactions and physical body sensations. Write them down. And begin to challenge the displacement. What is truly going on? Acknowledge that this may be nothing much at all to do with your body. And work on developing tools around problem solving, emotional regulation and self-compassion to support yourself in healing. And work to be kinder to your body and offer it compassionate respect. Good luck. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for supporting this podcast. If you're not following me already, do seek me out on Instagram at @theeatingdisordertherapist_. And for further support with your relationship with food, do go to theeatingdisordertherapist.co.uk. If you enjoy this podcast, I would be so grateful if you'd follow, rate and review, as it helps it reach so many more listeners. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to sharing another podcast episode with you very soon.